Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day. Kind of an impromptu stream today. Ozone 10 from Izotope just dropped, which is pretty exciting for me and my nerdy tastes. Ozone is a plugin I'm incredibly familiar with. It is something that's kind of an integral part of my workflow and something that I use daily. So this isn't going to be totally a real-time discovery, which is normally what I do. This is going to be me focusing on specifically what's new in Ozone 10 from Ozone 9. So from what I gather, we've got an updated mastering assistant, and we've got 4 new modules to check out and play around with. So that's what this stream's going to focus on. Also, I'm going to hop into an A/B pretty much right off the rip. I think that's the thing I'm most curious about, and I think most everybody who's curious about plugins wants to know how does it sound immediately. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to go back and kind of circle back into what the new modules are doing and see how it sounds and works. But Ozone is a plugin that I use a ton. I also use Neutron a ton. I'm a big fan of Izotope. They're making plugins that are really focused at how I like to work, which is really kind of pushing on the envelope of what digital workflow can do. The other reason I want to hop into the A/B really quickly is because Ozone's one of those plugins that everybody's kind of got their favorite version. Each one sounds a little bit different. They tweak it up a little bit each time. They're constantly improving the algorithms that they have. Some people really stick to the version that they loved. I mean, gosh, wasn't Jason Joshua, he was on Ozone 4 forever because he loved how it sounded. We're just going to hop into an A/B here right away. I've got 3 different mixes loaded up that are all in kind of different genres. We've got some kind of electro pop, and we've got roots rock, and we've got like a pop country song. So we're going to hear this really quickly across three different genres. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the assistant feature on 10 and on 9 and see where it lands. For those of you that aren't familiar with the assistant feature on Ozone, Ozone uses AI technology in their plugins to read your source material and suggest, it's kind of like an intelligent preset. It suggests a starting point for you, which is really cool. And when that assistant stuff first came out, I was kind of all against it. I thought, this isn't fun. It's taking my work away from me and gonna homogenize my work or just be cookie cutter. And now I think completely different about it because I've been using it for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now. And really because I work like 98% of the time by myself, I really view it as an assistant. It's a different set of ears and an opinion in the room, which is different than my own. So it's something that I do lean on and I enjoy having now and think makes me more creative and makes me try out different things or reconsider things or all those kind of things. So yeah, I think the assistant feature is great. So how the assistant feature works, we're just going to play the music, we're going to hit the assistant, it's going to read the source and give us a preset. We're going to do that on 10 and we're going to do that on 9 and see where we land. So it should be pretty fun. This is kind of what I live for. I live for these nerdy A/Bs. Let's just get into it. Let me stop talking. Too much talking. So as per Ozone's recommendations, Izotope's recommendations, we're just going to loop a loud section and we're going to hit it. So here we go. Assistant on 10. New GUI, new looking stuff, very in line with their upgrades to Neutron, which is cool. Alright, and we're going to head over to 9. We're just going to quickly pop over to 9 and do the same thing. We're going to say hi. So immediate difference here is that in 10 I don't have any choice. It just makes decisions for me. In 9 you have, are you streaming? Are you doing CD quality? Is it vintage? Do you want modern? So some immediate differences that we can see. Okay, we've landed. We're on 10 right now. 9. Okay, so we are experiencing a bit of a difference in levels here. So let's just go under the hood of 9 and 10 and see if we can make sure that we're kind of listening at the same levels. So we're only at 6.8. Oh, but we got this new clipper in here that's adding a little extra juice for us. I'm gonna also switch my IO to LUFS integrated, just because that's kind of where I live. Okay, so we're integrated around -10, so we're gonna go over to 9. We're just a little bit quieter. So yeah, maybe we will just look at this in RMS for a minute. See what 10's doing. Okay. So we are measuring louder on Ozone for RMS at 10, sorry, where both of them are Ozone. So immediately to my ears, I prefer 10. Yeah, 10 just sounds bigger, warmer. There's more depth front to back and left to right. Feels a little softer to me. 9 seems a little edgier. I'm just gonna run the assistant again on 9. Well, I think without a doubt, 10 is improved in this genre for sure. It sounds great. Looks like we have way more things involved too. So on the assistant in 9, usually you'll just get equalizer, maybe dynamic control. If your mix needs some dynamic control, dynamic EQ, and a maximizer. That's pretty much it that it would do for you on the modern setting. On the vintage setting, you get some more stuff, right? You just get the vintage versions of those things. 10 here in the assistant, where obviously we're getting a few extra goodies in there. We're getting this stabilizer, impact included, and some imaging. So that's new in the assistant module. So interesting to see. Let's try it on a different genre, shall we? Okay, let's run 10. I do like the new GUI updates to 10. It looks very similar to what they've done with Neutron, so looks great. A little more exciting to use, I think. Ooh, it just got pretty loud there. Okay, let's run it on 9. Pretty dramatic difference there. I mean, that's the interesting thing about the assistant feature, is that it is really, I feel like, genre specific, obviously frequency specific, and I feel like tempo specific. I feel like it handles up-tempo material way better than it handles slower material. It just doesn't seem to react well to it. And maybe it's just because it needs to run for longer than what the algorithm runs for, what the capture caps runs for. Okay, so we're currently on 9. 10. Pretty dramatic difference here. So we're on 10. 9. Not a huge fan of what's happening on the top end here on 10, but it's a little, 9's a little softer to my ears. I mean, it's a little quieter here too, so this is a little, the top end seems a little funky to me. The cymbals and stuff. Lots of bleed in this. I know what it's doing. Yeah. See, I wouldn't make these moves on this at all. For this genre, you want all this meat and potatoes, and I don't need all this top ends. So, bit of an odd move, but. Alright, 10, 9. So, clearly just getting a lot more volume with 10. Okay, well, let's move on to one more. We're just gonna run 10. We're on the chorus here. Here we go. Assistant on 10. That comes in nice. And what seems different here is it seems like it does have all the processing and then pops it in, whereas on 9 in previous versions with the assistant feature it would kind of just slowly load in, like as it added everything. So I kind of like if that is the case, and we'll do some checking to confirm, but I like that process better rather than like hearing it jolt. Oh, we have different optimizations. That's cool. Okay. Let's run it on 9. So yeah, watch here. Like you can see it build the chain in the background as it's doing all of its stuff. Now they're just doing stuff and popping it in when it's done. Okay, we're on 9. 10. Nine. 10. Sounds great. It's my initial opinion on this genre. Sounds great. 10 sounds great. Just again, like the width and the front to back. Feels like everything came forwards in a really nice way. Nine, I mean, obviously we've got a volume difference here, so I mean, you can just straight up see on the meters that we're getting way more level here. So if we go back to integrated, so we're LUFSing around -8, -9 for an integrated signals. That's great. On 9, what are we getting? We're getting a little bit quieter, which was a big switch between Ozone which was a big switch between 9 and 8 and 9. 8 was like really loud still. They still made it super loud. 9, they really tamed that back. They brought down the levels a little bit on even the highest settings, and unfortunately I just don't think even on the highest settings it's kind of realistic to where masters are living. Like even we live in the world of streaming, you know, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, all working to an LUFS standard, which is awesome. But even with that standard in place, masters are still coming in and still finishing at a very, very loud level. So even though Spotify is what, minus 12 or minus 14, I mean, I'm regularly still mastering songs. Kind of minus 8 or minus 9 would be the quietest that I would go, and the loudest I would go is there's lots of stuff living between minus 5 and minus 7. That would I would say most masters for pop music anyways, that's where they live. So kind of interesting to hear there in the AB that's something that they've maybe addressed a little bit, that they've brought that kind of overall standard back up a little bit louder, which is great. I think not that I want to live in the loudness wars, but I feel like nobody wants to hear anything super crushed, and it's uninspiring to do that. But benefit of the loudness wars for 15-20 years there is that a lot of things have come out that we've figured out how to make stuff sound good loud and exciting loud. That's the benefit. So that was a quick AB, just running Assistant on 9 and on 10, and then just ABing, seeing where they land and seeing what the differences are. That was the big thing that they've touted here. That's the first thing off the rip that they said, is that the assistant feature is redone and new, and obviously clearly, if you're listening to that AB, clearly new. So that's cool. And then we got 4 other modules to check out. What are they here? I haven't really even dug into this much because just excited, just wanted to get on and try it all out. So we got a new Stabalizer module to try out. Sculpt balance sound with the new Stabalizer module, an intelligent and adaptive EQ, mastering EQ. Okay, adaptive tonal balancing and shape, resonance suppression and cut mode, delta. Okay, so immediately here, this seems to me to be their answer to Soothe and to Golfos, which is cool. I love Soothe, I love Golfos. I think those are really interesting tools, and cool that Ozone's bringing some of that in there. New impact module. Enhance the rhythm and feel of your tracks by intuitively controlling microdynamics. Ooh, microdynamics. Multiband microdynamics. Control musical envelope times and delta mode so we can hear just what we're processing. Oh, these two are advanced, Ozone 10 advanced only. So if you're getting the standard module, you're not getting these goodies. And then magnify soft clip in the maximizer, so we get some new clipping features, which is awesome. Kind of something that's lacking from the Ozone world is some clipping, something I regularly use in mastering if it's appropriate. Then the other new feature is this recover sides in the imager module. So if I go back to the master mode, so this is where we landed for the assistant feature. Totally new. This is totally new and redone. So this is where we land in 9. Shows us how we land, shows us what our signal chain is, and we can go in there. This is a bit of a more broad stroke overview. We get their tonal balance control kind of right there. We can quickly check out our frequencies by the looks of it. We'll try it out. So Sellout. So we get our tonal balance control. Their tonal balance control is a bit of a map based on the genre of music. This is what the standard EQ curve looks like for hip hop and rap, which is where the assistant has categorized this song. So we can quickly and easily change those targets. So we change it and it changes the curve immediately. Okay, interesting. That's pretty dramatic. Oh, and you can build your own reference list. Okay. So it's literally a matching feature based on the curve. It's saying this is what the genre is, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay. Okay, what else do we got here? So we can check out our bands, of an overall width control. Pretty subtle, but interesting. Okay. Oh, it was like 50%, wasn't it? Somewhere around there. You can pop it in and out. And then we have control of our dynamics here. Oh, let's go back to the tonal match. We've got some EQ and stabilizer built right in. So what happens if we take the EQ out? Okay. And I'm gonna guess this slider is kind of like it scales the gain of all the EQ filters applied. That's exactly, well, I wasn't gonna say exactly that, but I was gonna say it scales the gain. So we can enhance the curve. Or we can reduce the curve. So our overall EQ curve. So that's cool. Stabilizer. So the stabilizer, that's our like Soothe Gullfoss-esque module that I think they've built, which is cool. And again, this is gonna scales the amount of the stabilizer. Okay, awesome. Sounds great. Really transparent. But things don't get clinical. Still musical. Okay. So they won't default to where it was. Anyways, I think it was roughly there. We'll say that. And we can pop it in and out. Okay. Handy. Okay, dynamics. Impact. So impact is our new micro dynamic adjustments applied by the assistant. So looks like it's on full tilt right now. Let's just turn it off. Interesting. Mix definitely moves more. The track moves more with it in, and it feels like I get more front to back depth. Interesting. Track definitely comes alive. Interesting. This is cool. I'm curious to hear or look at this thing. Let's just scale it up and down. So none. Alright, microdynamics. You're interesting. Because I mean, this is a pretty compressed mix. It doesn't need any like dynamic control actually, but adding movement into the mix is cool. Okay. And in control of our maximizer. So adjust maximizer threshold based on the measured and integrated loudness. Okay, so what we've set it to. Like push it harder. Oh, look at that. Moves. More dynamic. Okay. And of course on and off for the maximizer. So. Great. And then we've got an optimization. So we can optimize for streaming or for a DJ. So club levels or streaming levels. So let's see what it does. Immediately louder. Look at where we're living. Let's get back to integrated. We're clearly overshooting. overshooting. I don't know why it wouldn't come in with true peak, but that's okay. Back to streaming. So living around -10. So DJ was -7-ish, -7, -8, somewhere around there. So pretty good little boost. So I'm curious if that, like, it's got both modes loaded, like it already knows what it wants to do for DJ levels. I don't need the visualization of the limiter. It looks cool, but it doesn't really help me in any way. But that's just me. Okay. I really like this kind of like global overview thing that they've got going on. They've done this with Neutron as well. I just like that it gives you this kind of global control, kind of like a higher level, zoomed out, broad stroke thing, which is great. And then we can get an indig in here based on what they've done with the modules. Really cool, really interesting, and it looks great. It looks so much better. I feel like sometimes their plugins just look really utilitarian and lack a little bit of excitement. I do love about Ozone is that they're trying to leave the analog world behind and reinvent what's possible. And I like that. It's exciting. They pay homage to the analog world in some of the things that they do, but also just like totally abandon it in some ways, which is great. So even here, you can tell that the learn threshold is at -11 LUFS. So I think on 9 that defaults to -14. So yeah, they're definitely just saying that they're coming in hotter on masters than 9 was, which is okay. Yeah, let's see what it did here on Ashes to Fire, because it sounded really good to me. So just a quick note for anybody who is not used to A/Bing things, or doesn't A/B often, or doesn't A/B their masters versus their mixes. Gain matching is incredibly important because our ears instantly thinks that the louder thing is the better thing, and that's not always the case. And so gain matching is important. So if you're checking things out, if you're A/Bing stuff, always try and gain match as much as possible. And it looks like they've revamped the gain matching system, which is awesome, because in 9, let's just pop over to 9 here. In 9, you can see that they've, so this is track 9 here. You can see what happens when I bypass is they're just bringing my mix level up to try and match the master level. Well, that's no good because my mix is going to clip and you're going to get distortion and artifacts, and that's no good. I don't like that. I want to have a gain match where the gains go down to the lowest level, not up. So this is a 9. I don't like that feature. We can tell. And I didn't use it. I never used gain matching on the Ozone stuff. So I'm really happy to see that the gain match is improved here. So if we bypass it, it's bringing, like you can see on the faders here, on the input and output, it's bringing my level down to match what my mix was. So now I'm hearing a true A/B. Now I'm hearing a direct comparison, not a distorted comparison. So that's a big W for Ozone, a really useful gain match. So, mastered mix, or Ozone on, I should say. Bypassed. So, aside from, you can hear the dynamic range get smaller, aside from that, this assistant setup sounds great. So along with the updated master assistant, they've added some soft clipping for us, which is awesome. Okay, so we have some limiting in right now, 25%. Let's see what it sounds like out. So the clipper comes in prior to the limiter. Let's try that on low. I guess we do just want the chorus, don't we? Low. Medium. B. So it's telling us that it's where it's starting to saturate. Let's crank it. Well, that's alarmingly transparent. And it is telling us that it is oversampled, which is great because anything that's going to add or induce distortion, you're going to want it oversampled. You don't want it, but oversampling allows you to mess with the Nyquist theorem and just get beyond what the audio spectrum is in the digital domain. Just gives you a little bit more headroom to work with. So even on the heavy, I mean, it's pretty gentle. Like, not gentle. I mean, you can obviously hear the distortion, but it's not just crushing it. Medium mode. Super musical. Okay, well, that's a beautiful sounding clipper. Let's go check out the stabilizer. Okay, so what do we got here? Again, you can pick your style and then shape or cut. So what's the difference here? It applies adaptive EQ boosts and cuts to match the tonal balance. Okay. Applies adaptive EQ cuts to tame resonances and harshness. Okay. Amount, obviously. Speed. Smoothing. Okay. I mean, immediately this just makes me think of the Sculptor in Neutron, their neutrino stuff that they've rebranded as sculpting. And then tame transients. What's this do? Adapts tonal correction instantly to tighten dynamic range. Okay, let's see what it does. So yeah, this sounds really familiar to me. It sounds like the Sculptor in Neutron, which is the neutrino stuff, which is based on like Mel band technology or Mel band frequencies. So 26, I think there's 26 different bands in the Mel bands. But yeah, it sounds a lot like Sculptor, but not as maybe not as compressy. Okay. What happens if we tame transients here? Oh, it just tightens it up. That's pleasing. Let's hear what the cut sounds like. Just looking for the things that are maybe pumping the mix a little bit. Just an intelligent dynamic EQ compressor thing. Shape just sounds more exciting to me, but this is pretty cool that you can just kind of quickly tame your mix a little bit. And we can adjust the amount that's happening in each band, so that's pretty cool. Sounds really great. Let's see what Delta is just gonna give us what the difference between the input and the output is just we're gonna hear well, I'm just gonna hit it. So you can hear it's just giving us what the affected stuff is. Interesting, so I'm just gonna exaggerate this. So curves really, it's based on the tonal balance target, so that's cool. Just kind of gently pushes you in that direction. That sounds great. Okay, let's check out impact. So we can link it stereo-wise, or we can have it unlinked. I think if this is like a micro dynamics processor, you're gonna want it unlinked so that it's affecting front and the back different. So what have we got here? We got our visualizer, our bands, and of course they always have their learn feature on the multi-band stuff, which is great. We can work in stereo, we can work in mid-side. Super cool. Scale the amount. Cool. And it's automatically adjusting our gain, is that right? So, okay, and we can link the bands if we want to. And again, we can just hear the delta, which is cool. And then we can sync the envelope. Oh, I like that. I wish every compressor, I think this is a great feature, and I wish every compressor had this built in, because I work really, really to the tempo of the song, so I'm constantly wanting to know, I'm setting my release times on the compressor to the tempo of the song, depending on what I wanted to do. And sometimes it would be great if there was an op here that did that. So we're hearing it on the 16th note right now. 8. Quarter. Totally changes the groove. Not totally changes, that's a bit dramatic, but it changes the groove. Yeah, on the quarter we're just feeling the kick and the snare, whereas on the 16th I feel like we're really living with the hats. So you can change the feel really quickly. That's cool. Cool feature. Izotope. I like this. I mean, I don't know why I would use it on sync all the time. I just love. I mean, that's just where my brain goes. Is to have my release times targeted to the tempo of the song. I feel like you just get way more musical, interesting compression. You get way more movement in your mix or in your master. Let's start out with the second band because that's going to be maybe a little more audible for us. So it's at 13 right now. So below we're compressing, above 0 we're expanding. Let's just try this thing out on the whole mix. Let's get rid of our multi-band. Cool. Kind of sounds like whatever their new punch compressor is in Neutron. I could be wrong, but it's kind of what it sounds like. What happens if we go back here a few steps? This was at what, 13 or something? We link our bands. Oh, and that's too bad. When I hit the bottom there, it reset it all. That's too bad. Okay, well, this is a really interesting feature. And I like the fact that it works independently. So independently affecting the left and the right, you're gonna get way more width and movement excitement happening. So that's cool. Okay, stabilizer, cool. Impact, cool. I think we can all agree. Soft clip, cool. Okay. So far Ozone's really knocking it out of the park here so far. So last up to check out is this recover sides business. So again, that's the only thing that looks like it's new here. Everything else looks familiar. Okay, so recover sides. What do? Enables preservation of side channel information when width is reduced. Okay, so I can make things more mono, but maintain my sides. Okay, well, let's see what this recover the sides business is all about. Why can't I adjust it? Oh, took me a minute, but I got there. Okay, so it does nothing when we're adding width. This makes sense now. So when we push into mono, this thing becomes active. Whoa. I don't know what is happening. Interesting, this is a bit buggy. Oh, let me pull it down. So it is keeping some of the width, I guess. I honestly, I can't even tell you what I'm hearing. I feel like I'm using the CATS K system or whatever. What's that CATS plugin called? What is that thing called? The Precision K stereo. Yeah, that's what it makes me think of immediately. Makes me think of some of what those psychoacoustic things that happen in that plugin. Certainly at extreme settings I don't like it, but let's just try it at something more moderate. Let's just straight up get rid of all this. Yeah, some psychoacoustic trickery. I don't know what's happening in there. I can't say it's something that I was missing or knew I was missing or need. It sounds better to me on a mono instance than it does on a multiband instance. Feels like it gets a little weird, not too weird. It's actually pretty, whatever is happening seems pretty phase coherent. Not sure what to think of the widening or the recovering sides feature. Not something that I think I would use. Kind of sounds cool, like right around there. Let's maybe refer to the manual for this one. Imager, boom, with stereo recover sides. Here we go. Okay, this is very minimal information. Yeah, too bad. What did it say on the site? Reduce width without losing stereo information. Okay, it's like if you want to make things a little bit more mono, but don't want to lose some of those things that are on the width. I don't know. This is one that I'm having a hard time figuring out where I would use or if I would use it. But okay, let's try setting up some Ozone 10 and some Ozone 9 at somewhat settings and see if they sound different. Let's do that. And we're just gonna pick some arbitrary settings so that we're not being fair to one version over the other. So we'll just keep it very fair. And we're just gonna pick some EQ settings, really, really basic stuff. And some mids. Ozone, if you ever see this, can you please change this feature? Can you please allow me in a bypassed module to make adjustments so that I can change things and then pop it back in and hear it? So I can change multiple things and try it. I know I could set that up with an AB, but I just really would love to be able to manipulate things while it's in bypass. So we're just going to be ABing 9 and 10 at match settings. See if we can hear a difference. Let's start at 9. Seems a little more, the vocal stands up a little bit more. I could be totally wrong. I wish my new gen was working because it'd be great to just do a totally blind AB and see if there's one that I pick consistently. Okay, so we're gonna try nulling here. And I'm pretty sure it won't null, but we're gonna try nulling it. So here we go. So nulls a bit. Wild and free. Pretty deep null, but not a perfect null. We are hearing some differences. 10 feels a little warmer to me. It seems a little softer. Like a bit of like almost like a low mid bump or something in it. And the top end just seems a little gentler. 9 seems a little firmer to me. It seems a little more upfront. Let's try these settings out on another song. So 9.
Sellout for free. Sellout for free.
10.
In the caption, embrace yourself for the backspin. Sellout for free.
We're hitting it a little hard. We're getting some distortion here. This isn't fair.
Sellout for free.
But interesting that we're hearing the distortion on 10.
Sellout for free.
And not hearing it on 9.
Sellout for free. What you write in the caption, embrace yourself for the backspin.
Interesting. Okay, well let's just back this off just a hair. 6.5.
Sellout for free. Sellout for free. What you write in the caption, embrace yourself for the backspin. Sellout for free. Sellout for free. Sellout for free. Sellout for free.
Okay.
Sellout for free.
9's got like a real firmness to it, yeah. 10? 10's a little rounder, a little more sluggish maybe? This seems like kind of clear. This feels like it's kind of hugging you a little bit on 10. Let's try a null here with perfectly matched settings. No, not perfectly null. So they are different. Let's try their modern modes. So 10 on modern. 9 on modern. So interestingly, I'm hearing more distortion on 10 than I am on 9. Let's just crush it a little bit. Let's just see what happens. So we're hearing distortion on both now. So 10. 9. But 10 definitely has a little bit more distortion to it. Interesting. Okay, we'll back off to more economical levels. Let's try the learn threshold. Oh, it gives me a timer now on the learn threshold. That's cool. We want it a little louder. We want a -9, please. So that's cool. It's reading it and then setting it. It's not consistently trying to adapt to it. That's a nice upgrade. Because here we're gonna go -9. We're gonna hit learn, and it's just constantly adapting. So 4.9 we landed on. Yeah, interesting. They both sound good. They just sound different. 9 seems to come forward, like the vocal comes forward a little bit. Bottom end's bigger. So little warmer. It feels like it's a little more around you, surrounding you a little bit more. And Sellout seems like really, or Sellout. 9 seems like really firm and kind of like standing up a little bit more. Both sound good. Interesting. Okay. I think we've kind of experimented with everything that's new in this, so that's cool. Great job, Izotope. This is a great sounding upgrade. I gotta test the assistant feature a little bit more. Out of the 3 tracks that we tried it on, 2 of them it instantly sounded great. One of them it did not sound good to me on. But that's just the nature of this assistant feature. It's cool. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes you gotta run it a couple of times to get something that you like. But yeah, I think it sounds great. So some new stuff in the limiter. We got the soft clip, which sounds incredible. I couldn't make that sound bad on anything, on any of the modes. It sounded great. Also, a little thing here that they didn't tell us is that they revamped the learn threshold feature on the maximizer, which is great. So now it reads it and it just sets it. It's not like constantly reacting to it in real time, which is cool. I really like that. Other kind of small but powerful upgrade is they fixed the gain match. They changed the gain match so that it's turning down the mastered level to meet the mix level, not vice versa. Before, it used to be they would bump the mix level when you would turn gain match on and bypass. It would match the mastered level. Well, that's just introducing distortion and clipping into your mix, so it's hard to do a true A/B. This is constantly reading and adapting. That's a great change. I love this. So 2 nice little small things that I didn't really see discussed in any of the notes for it, but that's great. Clipper, great. I really like it. Sounds super musical. If anything, I kind of wish there was like maybe a turbo mode, some turbo clipping or something, so that I could maybe distort it a little bit more, get a little more aggressive if I was looking for that effect. I feel like as I play with this a little bit more, I'm going to be reaching for this clipper all the time. New stabilizer thing, which sounds a lot to me like their sculpting module from Neutron, and it kind of seems like to me it lives in that world of Soothe and Golfos. If you use either of those plugins, kind of very similar thing, but the stabilizer sounds great, and it works to the tonal balance curve that you select, so you can like really kind of quickly change the vibe of your mix if you want to really quickly audition maybe some different things. But again, it was hard to make it sound bad. This thing sounded great right off the go. The tame transients feature really tightened it up. I would feel like I'm going to use it mostly in shape rather than cut, but great that it's there. Super slick. But yeah, stabilizer, that's a cool module. I will definitely use that. Impact. This was really cool as well. Multi-band micro dynamic processor that adds movement to your mix, and boy does it ever do it. It compresses or expands. So compresses, if you pull it down, it's going to compress. If we push it up, it's going to expand the frequency range, and you can change the envelope of that compressor, the attack and the release of it, based on the tempo or milliseconds. Awesome. And when we were A/Bing that, it really brought the mix to life. It really added some movement. I'd be really curious to play with it actually in mid-side. I didn't do that. You can maybe get some really interesting tension happening between the mids and the sides. But even in stereo, it was great, and it comes linked or unlinked, so it's affecting the left and right individually. This was a really cool module. Not over the, I mean, you can push it to over the top, but didn't feel over the top at all. And just suddenly the mix kind of went more 3-dimensional in all areas, which is great. The recover sides feature didn't really do anything for me. Not sure where I would use it or if I would use it, but maybe it just needs some more experimentation. But it's cool that it's there. Didn't really blow me away. The overall Master Assistant overview is great. It's very similar to the Neutron thing. It gives us a zoomed out view, and we can kind of really broad stroke change some things. We can change our tonal balance curve, and we can change the amount of EQ, stabilization, width, dynamics, all that. And you can change your target level. So they have a louder level, DJ player being louder and streaming being what looks like set to minus 11 LUFS, which is great. Super slick. I'm really impressed with the updates. It sounds great. We did just some assistant ABs right off the rip to see what it does, which is cool. And then we did some matched settings ABs, and certainly you can hear there's a difference. They don't null out, which took me a minute to figure out, sadly, but they don't null out. And 9's kind of got maybe a little bit more firmer, more transparent sound to it, a little firmer, a little harder, and 10 just seems really kind of warm and more width. It feels like a hug. It feels like it's kind of hugging your audio. This 9 feels like it's standing your audio up. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty excited about this. I'll be upgrading immediately. I think it sounds great. As I said, I use Ozone all the time. I think it's a great tool, and I think the whole universe that Izotope's made, that where everything can talk to each other and interact with each other, is super cool. I think that about covers it, right? I think we got through everything that we wanted to. I'll maybe do an in-depth Ozone review at some point. I highly recommend demoing Ozone 10, especially if you're a long-time Ozone user. I think this is a great upgrade, well worth it. Yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks for tuning in. If you're enjoying the content and you're watching me on YouTube, if you don't mind dropping me a like, a follow, and a subscribe, that would be great. It would really, really help me out. Thank you, and have a great night.